Running a brokerage is hard work, so whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting the culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to another recording of Brokerpreneur Alliance. I'm here on
Brokerpreneur Alliance, really? You're getting ahead of yourself there, Dr. Ben.
we have a product called Brokerpreneur Alliance, and you got that on my head. All right, splash water all over my face. Here we go again.
Don't you cut that out. This better stay in it. When I listen to this episode, that better be in there.
Guys, it's a foreshadowing of things to come.
It is.
But welcome to another episode of Brokerpreneur
Alliance
podcast. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, the Doctor of Flow. I'm here with the big guy, as usual, Matt Vibe. What's up, Matt?
Man, just living the dream, Dr. Ben. Just living the dream. How about you?
Oh, I'm absolutely loving life and super excited about our guest. I want to get him on here ASAP. Before I do, guys, you know the routine. Go down the links in the description below. Click on the one that says Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society. It's a free mastermind that we have for real estate brokers every single Friday from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to see you there. It is a lot of fun. It is absolutely free. Make sure you go down there and check that out. Let's bring on our guest. We have none other than Steve Ramona, a super connector. He is a partnership and joint venture mentor. He's going to be bringing a lot of heat today. Let's go and get him on the show. Steve, how you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on. This is a great show.
Yeah, we love that. So we've got proof already, right? Before we even get started, he started his magic, and Steve was already hitting us with some super connecting. So we love that. So he's not just all talk. So make sure that everybody out there is paying close attention to this one, because this one's going to be a good one. Steve, tell us a little bit about your background. Okay, let's talk about how you got up and running, how you got to where you are now, and then we're going to dig into some super connecting.
I believe in network is your net worth. It all started at 18 years old, got out of high school, needed to make some money. My family launched a health club, and my cousin Jeff, president, said, hey, why don't you come work for us, make some money in the summer? I lasted 22 years, became director and all that. But what I learned, guys, is how building a network, because I'm 18 talking to 40, 50, 60-year-olds, guys my age now that have made a lot of money, extremely successful. They start becoming friends and building a relationship, asking me to lunch, give me tips, give me resources. My dad did that in the 50s and 60s as a contractor. He always built a great relationship with all his different companies he worked with. Back then, it was a lot less than his town, but building relationships never has changed. What I learned from one of my members is he gave me a book. He said, here, read The Wealthy Barber. It's going to tell you how to save money as a young man and grow your income. He was a financial advisor with millionaires and billionaires. Extremely successful. So I read, he came back the next week. He used to call me kid. Hey, kid, Italian guy. Did you read the book? I said, absolutely. It's 10% of my income, basically. Just sock it away. And that was about $50 a month, because it was 78. So it was $5 minimum wage,
right?
Really low compared to now. But 10 years later, guys, I looked at that account. I peeked at it once in a while, but I really looked at it for some reason, and it was $68,000 in there. Now, in 1989, that was a lot, at least for me at
Absolutely.
30, a lot of money. Of course, I spent $8,000 right away. I bought a car or whatever I did.
Right.
But the lesson I learned was I called Tony. He had retired and said, hey, I want to thank you. He was so excited for me. I said, hey, let me give you $1,000. You're a financial advisor. Stop. You helped me in so many different ways. And one, I'm retired, so I'm not going to accept your money. But you taking my advice and me giving you advice, you brought value to me somewhere else. I don't know where, but maybe a billionaire came to my door. Maybe I had another baby, 3 babies instead of 2. So many things could have changed because I gave you advice and you took it. So if you think of the sideways 8, the infinity loop, that's all the part about giving and receiving. I gave a lot, but I didn't receive until about 2 years ago, and everything changed.
Yeah, so that's absolutely incredible, and I love the message that whenever you reached back out to him, the message that he had for you. But man, I got to give you some kudos, Steve. A lot of people get a lot of advice and don't do anything with it.
You know that,
right? Especially whenever we're younger, right? When we're younger, we know everything already, it seems. But you took the advice and ran with it. Okay, so let's talk about that for just a second. Okay, so now you're helping people with super connecting. And how do you help people actually implement that advice. We're going to talk about some of the advice you give in just a second on how they can be a better connector with and grow their net worth through their network. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about how you actually get people to take that advice like you did, take it to heart and do something with it.
Biggest tip I give everybody, shut up and listen. People go, okay, if I'm listening, no, you're not shutting up and listening. If an image for you audience, for you guys is, we're in Zoom rooms all the time now, whether it's a networking group or a company or whatever, and some of those screens go black or literally the person turns away, you could tell they're not paying attention. So if they've shut up and muted, are they really listening? I would guess 90% of the time they're not. Now there's times maybe had a cough, they had to get food. There's times drink of water like you just did. Yep. But we want to really shut up and listen. And in real time, we're going to talk about this right now. You guys started talking about what your podcast is about. You mentioned realtors. I listen. I shut up and listen to you guys. Even though you're prepping me for the show, I'm always thinking, how can I bring value? Right away, I thought 3 top realtors that I've been exposed to since we've met previously that I want to introduce you to. Be guests on your show, maybe collaborate, where it be. So shut up and listen and then ask, hey, would these people be good for you? Hey, you're looking for this resource or tip? That ask was a missing component of mine until 2 years ago. Once I started doing that, it's a game changer.
Yeah, that's such good advice. And absolutely the active listening part is a huge part of it. And the Zoom call you just said, again, just a perfect example of that. Okay, so let's talk about being a super connector, right? So tell us a little bit about being a super connector. Of course, you're listening and you're taking what people said and actively listening to it, like you just said. And then you're going back through your mental Rolodex, or are you going back through your CRM, or how are you making that connection between somebody else and you? Because as a real estate broker trying to recruit people, or as an agent trying to grow their business, man, being able to connect the dots like that can turn into a lot of money really quick, right? So how do they do that? What are some of the things they can do?
And I mentor realtors, so that's why I'm excited to be on here, because I think this skill is missing in the real estate industry. I think as a competition, fear. Here in California, one house goes up, 15,000 realtors could sell it. What I do is, it's a mental Rolodex for me. It's my superpower. Like I did with you guys. It's just something that comes in, but I do have a Rolodex, or excuse me, a CRM. I'm old like you. We talk about this Rolodex and people are like, what the hell is he talking about? So you pull it up on your screen. When you're talking to somebody, pull it up. And a real tip, I found this app that's free. It's called The Brain. It literally does parent-child connections. If you haven't seen it, I started using it so I could put you guys up there and then start adding names, and it'll show me, and I could pull up, go, hey, here's some realtors, so on and so forth. But the key with the whole thing is being able to, if not today, get that value to them. We know an introduction is valuable, but there's times I haven't given an introduction. I'll give you an example. I've been on 3 calls with one guy's a multi-billionaire. And he goes, you've got this window or a video that shows up on your Zoom. Man, I want to learn how to do that. Hey, let me show you. 2 minutes I showed him. He goes, you're brilliant. You know what he did? He gave me 4 NFL players he wants me to have on my TV show or podcast. I brought him value. I helped him with something that's probably minuscule, but just the act of bringing value, resource, introduction, tip. Hey, great background. Actually, by the way, that's a really cool background you guys have. I've been looking at it. And walking up to somebody in a grocery store, your baby's so cute with that bow. You're changing people's lives. How does it change yours? Your universe goes, I don't know how, why, or where, but I'm going to send you something. Money, a person, a wonderful podcast like this. So that's the whole end result. Problem with people is it's not tangible. I give you guys $100 to be on the show. You're not charging me, but you got your 100. Okay, you see it. With the serving part, it's just not like that. But trust me, my last year has been my best year ever financially because I served.
Yeah, I love that, and we love that servant mindset.
Yeah.
I gotta talk follow up with you, right? Because I'm connected with a lot of different people, and you're connected with 10 times more than that. But let's say I pass a referral or just connect you with some people, or the same thing with Matt. And gosh, I give them to Matt, and I don't know what happens. Let's say I give them to you and you're just like, man, I'm off to the races. I'm not throwing you under the bus, Matt.
That's all good.
It's an example, guys. What do you do from a follow-up standpoint just to make sure, okay, that My referrals are getting taken care of. And because again, you're a
It's your
you're a
reputation.
super connector. That's your reputation on the line.
You guys want a really cool tip that can make you millions of dollars?
No.
Yes.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what I wanted to
gotta
hear.
hear, Matt.
I'm going to give it to you anyways. An audience, listen to this. This is something I learned through our program that I'm going to talk about later is reach out. Hey, Dr. Ben, I've got Amanda Realtor. I want to connect with you. Yeah, that'd be great. Like I just did with you verbally. Then I do the connection. Then I follow up after I connecting a day later, go, hey, Ben, I'm super excited to meet Amanda. She's a rock star real estate person. Let me know how it goes. Nobody is doing, not that I'm aware of people doing that. What that does, it gives Dr. Ben more value to when you talk to Amanda and you go to Amanda, hey, God, Steve's talking such great things about you. When you walk into a cold call meeting, it's not a cold call, but you don't know anybody, the energy I'm showing is in the middle, it skyrockets. Oh man, Steve was talking to, oh man, I love Steve. Steve's great. Being the core of the conversation at the beginning of high positive energy, I guarantee you 95% of the time you're going to have a great meeting.
Yeah, I just absolutely love that. And you had mentioned something a second ago, and I just want to bring this up because you alluded to it just a second ago. You have something called the Pantheon Alliance, which is like a referral marketplace. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's doing the things that we do. We show them how to script out their referrals, but we get together and we do a hot seat. You'll talk about what you do for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we take 5 personas or buckets of people you're looking for. You're looking for SaaS companies. Okay, all 10, 15, we did this yesterday. All 10 people in the room are highly successful millionaires and billionaires. Go through their network and go, I've got this guy and this guy.
Love it.
And there you go, introductions. And then when it's my turn, the next week or week, same thing. I got 25 referrals. 4 of them are worth 100 million or more to be on my podcast. How powerful is that? How much will you grow? How much will you? It's amazing. And then the other thing we do is joint ventures, which we just announced yesterday. 3 of our guys are doing an event in Costa Rica.
Hey, Dr. Ben here. I hope you're enjoying this episode. If sometimes you feel overloaded or alone when it comes to building your brokerage, I want you to know that we are here for you. There's so much support available to agents, but hardly any dedicated to brokers. I want to personally invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call where Matt will help you build a 3-step profitability plan that will immediately produce results. This is not a sales pitch. There's no obligation. Simply click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the show.
It's $10,000 each. It's going to be an incredible company retreat and business retreat, but they've already sold 65% of the tickets. They're going to have 30 people. They've already sold 20 tickets, $200,000 because of the help of the Alliance. And then the people in their network outside the Alliance that go, hey, I want to be part of this. And then what we do is pop-ups. So we'll do a pop-up 1-hour event virtually and give some tidbits of what's going on. These are the value adds that we bring to really, if you're a high ticket offer, something you need to look at.
Yeah, so that's excellent. I know you mentor some real estate agents, right? We've talked about that, okay? And there's a lot of networking that happens in real estate, okay? There's a lot of connections with that, and there's a lot of people that have servant mindsets. There's a lot of people that believe in leading with value and all of that, but there's not a lot of people that really leverage their network from what we've seen to the extent that it could be leveraged. Okay. So they know that they're supposed to be doing it, but execution is the difficult part. Where do they start? What is that step one, right? So if you're talking to a real estate agent that you're mentoring and they're like, okay, I do need to leverage my network better. I do know some people. I need to get in there and get connected. What's that step one that you give them this is how you really get started turning into a super connector?
Great question. Great podcast. I love being on great podcasts like this. They're serving. I'm serious, but that's when I do on shows. And if you're on shows, that's a tip. Always edify your guests in the show.
Right.
Meet 10 to 15 new people every week. You don't care what industry, where they're from, because you can meet Joe Smith that's a janitor at the school. His brother is a multimillionaire selling his home. Mm-hmm. You just don't know that. Now, you don't spend an hour with somebody like that, but 15, 20 minutes discovery. But you bring value. What can you do for the janitor? Hey, how can I help you? How can I support you? My kids need more clothes. Let me send you something from Amazon. It could go so many ways, but if you meet 10 new people every week, And they give you, let's use the 5 rule. 10, you get 5 referrals. You met 15 new people. Next week, 30 new people, 10, 5. Next week, 45. By the end of the month, you met 60 people. I did this in action in January of 2022 before that crazy thing happened that we all know happened, COVID. Even through COVID for 3 months, I met 500 new people.
Wow.
I became the top sales guy in my company and an owner because I was doing so well. They asked me to be part owner of the digital business card company. So I know it works. I know my business partner, Josh Tapp, shout out to him, who's teaching me this. It works because we're a people asset business. What's an asset? You want it to grow. Real estate, that's an asset. You keep it for 10 years, it's grown.
Right.
But we need people. You need people as guests. I need people to mentor. A real estate needs people to sell or buy from. And the value add to that is great. When a realtor meets somebody, and here's a great tip. You should have a landscaper, a roofer, a pool guy, all those different ancillary people in your database, your Rolodex will use. Somebody comes to you, and they're not going to, they got a realtor already, but I got a question. Can I ask this question? You answer it and they go, hey, I'm looking for a great pool guy. Hey, go to Tony Smith. Unbelievable. I've used him 20 times. Did that realtor make any money? Hell no, but I don't care. You built a relationship. Will they ever buy from you? Probably not, but will they refer you or think about you? They will. You do that 100 times a month. Let's use the 10% rule. That's 1 sale a month. 1,000 could just depend on me. We only have so much time to meet people, but it's so powerful. Sorry, I get excited when I talk about it because it's really simple.
I love it.
Yeah.
But people don't take action, especially realtors.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so part of the reason why with real estate agents is because there's already a demanding job that's pulling them in a bunch of different directions, which is, my next kind of my next point. You touched on go meet the pool guy and all that kind of stuff. Can't they go to the people that are associated with the transaction and just try to help them? If they're using a home inspector, try to lean into that. If they're using a mortgage lender, try to lean into that. Tell us a little bit about how they can help with those people as well.
Yeah, bringing them. So again, value. I keep coming to that, always bringing value. You've got this core group of businesses you work with, mortgage. Well, bring them referrals. Hey, I just met Steve Ramona. He's looking to buy a home. I'm going to send him to you. Hey, home inspection. A friend of mine is buying a home, needs a home inspection. Again, are you making money? If you can make it happen, I don't think real estate could do that with affiliates because there's rules. But the universe changes. I call it God's currency. When you do that, it's going to come back around to you. But here's the thing. When you take care of that mortgage guy, Mike Garcia is my mortgage guy. Is he going to bring me a home next time? Hell yeah. When he's talking to somebody in his network that says, hey, I'm looking to buy a home. Do you know a good realtor? Yeah, Steve Ramona. Yeah, let me connect you with him. Hey, Steve, I got this guy. Imagine how much less work that is than knocking on open houses, throwing those direct mail flyers out, knocking on doors. I watch the reality real estate shows because I like looking at beautiful homes and they're saying they're knocking on doors. What a better way. Still do all that, but add this to it, do less door knocking.
Yeah. Don't believe what you watch on those shows.
No, I actually talked to a guy.
The show part is on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I love all of this. And so you're serving others, you're meeting people every single day, every single week. You are finding out how can you help them and sending them referrals, connecting them with important people that you like, know, and trust. At some point, it gets to a point where it's like, gosh, okay, how do I ask that person? Hey, Matt, I've sent you 15,000 people to your pool company, and I know you've crushed it every single time. And Matt's never sent me anything. I'm throwing him under the bus again. Matt's never sent me anything. Do I just keep sending in stuff and I never say anything at all? I'm not going to say, come on, Matt, how about sending some people my way? How do you go about fostering that relationship to letting Matt know? Because you need to let him know. Man, if you have somebody like, man, I'd love to help them as well.
It's a fantastic, Dr. Ben, fantastic question, because that's the ask is the big part of all this. You've built this relationship by bringing value. They brought you value. You ask, hey, you know what? I'm starting this alliance. I'm looking for an income earner. Anybody? Yeah, I do. Let me introduce you to 2 or 3. The worst thing they have is say no. Is there a scoreboard involved? And that's what you're talking about, Dr. Ben. I'm not a big fan of the scoreboard. I'm more of a big fan of how they handle it. Yeah, I'm going to look. I might have a guy for you. If they never bring me anybody, you've got to look at that person. Are they, and you can tell right away if they're takers. You trust me, we're human. We can feel it. Going, this guy's just taking all my referrals and not doing anything. I'm not a big fan of referral systems that tit for tat do that, because we all live different lives. And here's a powerful thing about introductions. I met you guys a couple months ago for the first time. In 2 months, my life has changed. I've got 3 realtors for you.
Right.
So when you say, oh God, Dr. Ben, I'm going to throw you in their bus, using your phrase, I gave him 6 referrals. It's been 6 months. I have not seen anything. I don't think that. If there's a fit, I just do it. And if it's a great fit, great. Because I tell people introduction is just that. You're just doing an introduction and walking away. I've had 1 or 2 people go, why would you do that? Why are you introducing me here? Then I stop introducing them. You're doing a value servant activity. When you introduce somebody, if somebody comes back to you and says, that didn't work, what are you doing? I won't introduce them anymore. That's just not the right mindset to have. Just be thankful somebody wanted to connect you.
Yeah, so that's so good. And part of it is, so if I refer Dr. Ben to you and you never refer anybody back to me, but Dr. Ben is ridiculously happy, and so are all the other people that I send over to you, he's going to appreciate that I sent you to somebody, and there's an opportunity with all of that as well. So this isn't just a, like you said, it's not a scoreboard, right?
Tit for tat.
Yeah, that's right. Not tit for tat. You're not keeping score on the Rolodex and the CRM that you're using. Again, dating both of us. You're not, keeping track of that. You're just doing the right thing for the customer or the client. You're doing the right thing for the person that you know, and absolutely the right thing turns into other people that are having that done to them want to do the right thing as well.
Yeah. And behind you guys are dots. And if people are watching this on YouTube, that's what I'm doing. I'm connecting. That's a perfect example of what networking should be, connecting dots. Now you're more emotional, more vested in it, but that's all it is web of dots. And this dot might have 5 more dots than this dot because it might be a unique situation. And I'll give you a real time what just happened last weekend. I went to a business conference. I was invited to come. And as soon as I walked into the door of the conference, this lady grabbed me, said, you're the super cool dude. You're the super connector. I want to introduce you here. I had 100 people grab me by the arm, literally pulling me that you got to meet Steve. Now I say that, I guess I'm good at what I do. I know I am good at what I do, but here's the cool thing. All of you in the audience, you can all do this. You can all be rock stars like that. It's just serving and bringing value.
I love that. And for all those people in the audience, again, let's say that you wanted to learn how to do that, right? Then you need to obviously be connected with Steve and, of course, listen to Brokerpreneur podcast. I guess. So, Steve, why don't you do everyone a favor and let them know, how do they get in touch with you? How do they learn more about what you do, the Pantheon Alliance, you name it, whatever you say. We're going to not only put it on your showcase page, but of course, we'll put it in the links in the description below.
First thing I want to say, I know you totally said about your podcast, but audience, this is a podcast you want to learn. ABL, always be learning. This is one place that you can learn. So do that. Ask that question again. I was so excited to talk about your podcast.
He wasn't listening.
Yeah, I wasn't, was I?
He's too focused on giving, man.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Let our audience know how to connect with you and how to learn more about you and the Pantheon Alliance.
Yes, you got my email, stever1961@gmail. Super simple. Steve Ramona, you can see on the screen, STEVERAMONA. I'm always on LinkedIn every day. And then you can call. My office number is a text number, 408-642-6288. Mention this show and I'll give you a free 20-minute counseling of what I do, because these guys are so happily having me on the show. So I want to give a gift back. So I'll be willing to do a free consultation for anybody that reaches out.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Guys, the routine, I'm going to make sure that we take all these things and put them in the links in the description below so that you can get connected with Steve. Just super cool guy, super connector, obviously.
Yep.
And you will not regret learning more about him and just being connected with him in a wonderful way. Matt, any other questions for Steve?
Yeah. So Steve, we really appreciate you coming on here and sharing the insight, and we love hearing about your story, and we love hearing that you're succeeding. So we appreciate you coming on and sharing that.
Thank you for having me on. It's been fantastic.
Awesome, guys. You know the routine. Go down there, click all those things about Steve. And when you're finished with that, scroll on down a little bit further and click on the one for Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society, and join us on Friday from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, absolutely for free. We'd love to see you there. Matt, we bring on amazing guests like Steve for one reason alone. Tell them what that is.
Man, we just want to be part of your win.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. Thanks, Steve.
See you guys.